two men. Two, breaking out, running, hiding through the country, going real fast, really fast. You, why, I don't know this thing. Danger's on its way. I couldn't figure out what this had to do with me.
These are the true stories of real cases and the psychics who help investigators solve their most baffling mysteries. Two violent criminals break out of a Louisiana prison.
Jailers always had to make a head count once an hour, and that was how the escapes were found.
With Billy Wilson and his follower Roy Hill now on the loose, police know they're sitting on a time bomb.
Billy Wilson was an individual who had no conscience.
Wilson seemed like a pleasant person when you first met him. He had an infectious grin. But behind that grin beat the heart of the devil. He had a Jekyll and Hyde type personality. He'd be your best friend one minute, then he'd be a cutthroat killer the next minute. Billy Wilson was fixing to spend the rest of his life in jail. He had nothing to lose by escaping. At that time, an immediate manhunt was started.
An army of police officers and guards fan out from the prison, trying to pick up the fugitives' trail.
Additional personnel were called in. Roadblocks were set up.
Law enforcement throughout the state are on the hunt for Wilson and Hill. But by day's end, things are looking dire.
When an escape happens and you don't find someone within 3 to 4 hours of the escape, they're long gone from the area.
Meanwhile, 900 miles away, in a rural Missouri town, a complete stranger senses violence on the horizon.
My name is Joyce Morgan, and I am a psychic. My great-grandmother was Cherokee Indian. She was psychic. My grandmother was psychic. I'll be thinking about what I'm going to do that day, and I'll just have a vision of something that's going on somewhere. I was frightened. I was watching two men breaking out, running. It was just like impending danger. There was just danger was on its way. But I didn't know who, and I didn't know where.
Though Joyce has no knowledge of the prison break halfway across the country, she seems to be tracking the fugitives in her mind.
I got a vision of two men that were robbing, running from the law, and I had a feeling that they were headed in this direction. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know their names, but I knew what they looked like. It left me with that frightened feeling. It left me that uncomfortable, frightened feeling.
Joyce has reason to be afraid. As investigators soon discover, the convicts seem to be headed her way.
They stole a pickup truck surreptitiously down in Garden City, Missouri, from outside of a bar where it had been left with the keys in the ignition.
They have to steal vehicles. They need money to put gasoline in these vehicles. They need money to eat on. They need money to buy cigarettes or beer or whatever they want.
Police know it's just a matter of time before the crimes turn deadly.
These two were like a couple of wolves running.
Joyce Morgan senses the same imminent doom.
It's like having a premonition of a volcano. You can see the volcano, and you can see the people running, and you can see the people frightened and people hurt. It was coming towards us. Danger coming this way. Danger coming into this area. Oh, you. Why, oh, you? I couldn't get that out of my mind for days. It just stayed with me. It's like one of those horror dreams that you have that you just can't quite shake.
Days after a Louisiana prison break, a psychic in Missouri with no knowledge of the escape starts having ominous visions of the two men headed her way.
I could see him in an old hotel room. I'm seeing a man with bushy hair, like black, dark, bushy hair, scroungy-looking beard, a thin man. He's the one that frightened me the most. He frightened me.
Joyce struggles to make sense of her premonition.
I kept getting you, Y-O-U, cemetery, Y-O-U, cemetery. It wouldn't have done any good to go to the police with it right then. I couldn't figure out what this had to do with me.
As the bewildered psychic waits, 20 miles away, a mother in the town of Gallatin calls 911.
911 recorded line, what is your emergency? Okay, ma'am, you need to calm down.
Someone has taken her daughter, Jennifer Barton.
We responded to the scene and we were made aware of the abduction of Jennifer Barton from in front of her home in broad daylight. And her young brother was present when this took place and provided witness information.
The other child was unable to tell them who the person was, did not recognize the vehicle. A green pickup with a toolbox in the bed, white toolbox.
Davies County Sheriff's Department. People in the community had witnessed that vehicle in Gallatin that afternoon and that evening.
And trust me, in that community, they all know each other's pickup trucks.
It was definitely not a vehicle from this area. People did not recognize it, so we knew it was not a local vehicle.
The truck was the key. The truck was the key.
The local authorities broadcast public alerts describing the pickup truck.
After putting a dispatch out, we received a call from Garden City stating that this vehicle did match the description of vehicles stolen in their city. Led us to the two escapees from Louisiana, being Roy Hill and Billy Wilson.
We were pretty sure at that point that those were the two that we were looking for.
With a little girl in grave danger, the community responds in force.
A lot of people was volunteering to come in, assist and search. We formed a command post, set up and sent out crews with law enforcement and citizens to search areas to see if we could find evidence.
Every barn that we came to, every farm building that was vacant, where there was no residents or someone living there, we searched every one of them.
This is small town America. Things like that don't happen in small town America.
I knew in my mind that we needed to find her immediately, as soon as possible, because every hour, every minute that went by, I knew that there was less chance that we would find her alive.
In a stunning act of coincidence, officers contact a local psychic for help. None other than Joyce Morgan, the psychic that has helped them with cases like this in the past.
I've talked with Joyce on other cases before. It was a great feeling to know that we had some place to turn and get assistance when we run out of places to look and things to do.
I want to know if you can see or tell me anything about this incident and what happened, where they may have went.
I could see the connection with the two men that I had seen before. I see him very clearly. Looking through her eyes, I saw the same man. I could see the two men that I had seen before. I saw the same man that I saw in the dream. And then the connection is made. I feel like that there is a connection somehow.
The visions that have been haunting her suddenly make sense. The hunt for the fugitives and the search for Jennifer Barton have now become one investigation.
Joyce indicated to us that there was two people involved in this case. Obviously, she was seeing something and could feel something, and it was pertinent in the case.
In her mind, Joyce relives the kidnapping.
I see him playing in a yard. I knew she was beside the road, I could see her standing beside the road, and I could see a dark-colored pickup, a dark green. A man stopped. I had a feeling that maybe she knew him. She thought she knew him. So she got in. She got in. I see him very clearly, and he talks with her.
If we take you to the house where this occurred, would that help?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Can Joyce track the fugitives using only the power of her mind? Investigators in Missouri are desperate to find the escaped convicts before their crime spree grows even more violent. They turn to psychic Joyce Morgan for help.
And then he comes out of there, and then he goes like where we're headed now.
Joyce tries to track down the fugitives by connecting to the missing girl.
I was looking through her eyes. She turned away from him, and so she looked out her window. But I pick up her vibration. She's very scared. And I can see the road. I know that you probably know, but I don't know if there's a road out there that's old road, a blacktop. But that's what I'm seeing.
It's not real high usage, but it's a main thoroughfare in the rural areas.
And he goes north, and then picks up 6 and goes to the right.
The closer they get to Highway O, the stronger the psychic's impressions get.
She said, Jennifer said it, we went fast. We went fast, fast. I can feel her vibration along here, so we're right along here. This is what she shows me. 6 to 0. Yes.
The trail is heating up.
And it all come in flashes, like boom, boom, boom. And I kept getting you, Y-O-U, you. This is cemetery went down that road. Oh my. Yes, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And I want to see what she's trying to show me with the tombstones. Here it is. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been looking for.
Though she's a stranger to this part of Missouri, Joyce has just pinpointed the exact tombstone from her visions.
He took her behind that cemetery. That's how she saw the Y-O-U, because he took her past there. And I knew that she had seen that. I knew that she had been taken there.
I was impressed. I really was.
From here, I feel them leaving here and going off down. I knew they left because she was showing me after the cemetery, and I could feel them going north, going west and north. I had the feeling that he left town.
Joyce's clues have investigators hot on the escapee's trail when they get another lead. The suspect's vehicle has been spotted just 15 miles away.
I received information that this pickup had been seen at the Rosehaven Motel in Hamilton.
We thought, we've got them. These are the guys that we're looking for. Upon making that contact, it didn't take long to realize that they had packed up and were gone.
Just as the psychic said, the fugitives have fled the area.
It was very frustrating that we still didn't have something on it.
Investigators return to Joyce in the hopes that they can put her psychic tracking abilities to further use.
Well, O goes clear to the river and then turns.
She's exactly right on the O, and if you go down O, you go down.
They keep traveling, just winding around through the country.
Stolen cars, burglaries, thefts, constantly moving from place to place, possibly even living in the car. They were just enough ahead to not get caught.
The FBI casts a wide net for the fugitives and their victim.
The next information we received was that the pickup truck was recovered burnt in a small county in Nebraska.
So we knew that at that point they had left the area and they had continued on their crime spree.
We were very hopeful that Jennifer was still with them, but concerned that maybe not, that something worse had happened.
Joyce has been trailing the fugitives through the missing girl, but now her connection to Jennifer has taken a dark turn.
I felt like that she left her body. She didn't have to be in her body anymore. I would get a vision of an open field, a hay field. I saw a flash of a man, and he had on black gum boots. I could see him look down, and I could just see this little face. I would say, "Tell me where you are, sweetheart."
The FBI's search has started to heat up.
Wilson and Hill then went from Nebraska down to Oklahoma, where another car was taken.
Finally, investigators get a break.
In police work, we have a terminology, JDLR, just doesn't look right, and many times officers will see something that draws their attention. In Texas, a sergeant was on patrol, observed this vehicle.
Westbound on Double H Henry.
The sergeant continued the pursuit until such time as the vehicle pulled into a dead-end situation. When he went in after them, they jump out and flee. The sergeant captured the individual that turned out to be Roy Hill.
Catching Hill is a major accomplishment, but Billy Wilson manages to escape.
At that point, we knew it was not going to be a good outcome.
A multi-state search for two dangerous fugitives has ended in a high-speed chase through the Texas countryside. Roy Hill is apprehended, but Billy Wilson is nowhere to be found.
It was nerve-wracking because you want to make this thing right. You want to resolve this case. You want to have a happy ending. And unfortunately, my initial belief was it was not going to be a happy ending.
The search is still in full swing when investigators get some surprising news from a Texas suburb.
Billy Wilson had gone to a residence there. The residence was occupied by a young woman. She heard a noise. Something awoke her and went down to investigate this noise. And she got into the living room or front room area of the home. Wilson emerged with a knife. She spun on him and shot him just below the nose in his upper lip, and it exited through the back of his head. And he was dead before he hit the ground. It was probably poetic justice. He was obviously not there to do any good. I think that he got exactly what he asked for.
The hunt for Wilson and Hill has sent one man back to prison, the other to the morgue. But no one can rest until they find Jennifer Barton.
It was a tremendous letdown. We're happy he got caught, but we also had lost a source of information that might help us to find Jennifer. Right from the outset, Hill denied any involvement in the abduction of Jennifer Barton. And as an investigator, as somebody who likes to make things right, and I knew that I could not, it had a tremendous impact on me as a person.
Reconstructing the fugitives' timeline, detectives believe that Jennifer's body was dumped outside of Hamilton, Missouri. That's exactly where Joyce Morgan's psychic trail ended, on Highway O.
I kept saying to tell me whose farm she was on, whose land is she on. I could see the road with the O road. And then it just come Robert's farm. Robert's farm. Robert's.
Investigators begin searching for a man called Roberts. But in this vast countryside, not all farmers list their names. Just when it seems Jennifer will never be found, the sheriff's department gets a shocking call.
Davis County Sheriff's Department.
A farmer found a skull Jennifer had had her head x-rayed for some medical reason prior to the abduction, and so he was able to make a positive identification that this was in fact Jennifer Barton.
Finally, the puzzle pieces of the psychic's vision fall into place. Her premonition was exactly right.
The man's name was Roberts. Roberts. The road with an O, and then the connection is made.
The mystery of where she was at that point solved.
To me, it's kind of eerie that Joyce Morgan gave the description that she gave, and it came true. I mean, she was found close to Highway O on a farm owned by someone by the last name of Roberts.
Joyce was very helpful in finally coming to closure in this case. Without the information, may have taken a lot longer before we realized what had happened.